And welcome to the Capitalist Death Parade with your hosts, Joy Marie Mann and Josh Radio Hedge, a podcast where we discuss the dystopian hellscape of capitalism that we call home. Hey, everybody, it's the Josh Radio Hedge.
And the Joy Marie Mann. Come on, yay. Look, we look like twins with our pally flags.
Aww,
we literally look like twins. Literally.
Aww, yeah.
With our black glasses. I just need devil horns. But I would like mine to be like sparkly or something.
I was going to say, you have blue hair. I have blue hair. You know, it's
You have blue balls. I have blue hair.
Whatever. It all adds up. It
all works. Let's see who we got in the comments. We have Applejack.
We got Miguel, Holly, and Applejack.
Holly is the bomb. She is always here. And who is the other? Miguel! Holy shit, Miguel! Holy shit! I've missed you. I can't believe you're here and you're first. Oh my God, Miguel, I have missed you. Like, I've even shouted you out a few times on the show. Like, where's my dude, Miguel? Is he okay? It's so good to see you, buddy. So we have some updates. First, of course, I do want to talk about my book, newly released, Our Friend Temujin, about my friend who's been wrongly incarcerated for almost 40 years and counting. And he was thrown in solitary this week. And we didn't hear from him for 3 days. And It's pretty fucking terrifying because the only reason we knew he was in solitary is because one of his prison comrades called his wife. That's what you have to do. You have to have, look, if you see my cell being tossed or you see me in solitary, here's my wife's number. You're going to have to call her because otherwise we don't fucking know. We just know, holy fuck, I can't get a hold of him. I don't know what's going on. So now he is out, thankfully. But it takes nothing for them to do that. And you will get thrown in solitary for any fucking reason. You're having a bad day? Fuck you. Like, I don't like the way you looked at me. Solitary. And they can hold you for months.
Yep.
Literally fucking months.
Or years. Like, I don't think there's any sort of regulation to prevent it. It's evil.
There's not. I mean, there's not even a fucking regulation to give him his fucking medication, even though he has a fucking brain tumor.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
I worry about that man every fucking day. I mean, I've been interviewing him for over 5 years, but, you know, when I went to visit him in prison, it connected us on a level I was not expecting. And then especially, you know, obviously writing the book, you know, I just feel such a connection to him. And the fact that he's been proven innocent multiple times and is still in fucking prison, 62 years old, almost 40 years later. This is why this book is so fucking important. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the author, but because this man's life is literally on the line. Literally. Like, they want him to die in prison. And that's why they are doing this to him. He has way too much proof on the political corruption that has him in there. And I have documents in this book to show you exactly what's fucking happening. I brought the receipts, and the more people that read it, the more his story gets out. So barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com for paperback or Kindle. It helps, it gives him hope when people know his story before it's too late. So on that note, so speaking of people in prison wrongly accused, let's go to a motherfucker who was definitely not wrongly accused and who should be in prison still. Well, his cohort is in prison for now and should stay there. But yes, so let's go to Jeffrey. We can't say the last name because my show will get fucking taken down. But Jeffrey E.
Because they're really fun like that. They really do love to mess with you to the point where you can't even say the villains' names anymore for fear that you've violated some sort of agreement. But what's the agreement? Who said you can't?
What are you trying to protect? Like,
ding, ding, ding,
whose
ding.
side are you on? Gee, I don't know.
Isn't it wild? Well, let's start it right out. So I don't know if you guys heard, but yes, the birthday book that Ghislaine, Ghislaine, I always want to call her Ghislaine, Ghislaine herself hand bound and put together of all the letters. I don't know if you looked at it, by the way, Joy. It's 230 plus pages.
Oh my God.
And the craziest thing is I read through like maybe half of it. And it's insane. Like everybody in the book is doing the same thing. They're like, hey, Jeffrey, you're so creepy and mysterious, and we love all the young girls you have. Here, I drew a picture of a young girl. Hey, we had so much fun. Let's not say what we did, but you know what I'm talking about. Hundreds of these. Like
my question, though, like, do I believe it? Of course. He's like, of course. But my question, knowing that I cannot even send a card to Temujin, I cannot send him any papers. I cannot send him drawings. I cannot send him stickers. I cannot send him anything. My question is, how did she obtain this when she is prison? That is my question.
Well, okay.
Because that's contraband. That shit, I'm telling you.
This was not in her possession. Apparently, this was a part of the Epstein estate.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was no longer in her possession. She bound it and then gifted it to him. And then once he supposedly unalived himself, then all of his possessions became property of the state.
Gotcha.
And this was one of his estate items. So, but that's the thing.
Bought this since it
no, that's the crazy thing. This was given to the a congressional committee. I forget which one off the top of my head right now.
Right, but from who?
Well, no, that's the thing. It was from the estate, but this wasn't supposed to go public. This is a leak. Somebody who got a hold of this between then and this congressional committee, or after the congressional committee, then leaked all this, scanned it and leaked it all. So we don't know.
So wouldn't it have to be someone from the CIA or someone?
We don't know. I would hope. You know, at this point, if you were an actual CIA or FBI agent and you genuinely believed in law, order, truth, justice, protecting children and women who are victimized, if you actually cared about this stuff,
you would resign.
I'm amazed that there haven't been more leaks, to be honest. More leaks, but
yeah.
But let's jump in. So these are just some of the worst pages that I saw when I was digging through. And it's incredible stuff. Like the first one, of course, that I put up right on our image for the show today. It's literally somebody making a drawing showing how Jeffrey literally grooms young girls so that one day he can use them for his own sexual gratification. Like it's a diagram of grooming kids. It's incredible stuff.
And did they say who wrote this?
This one did not have a name on it, but many of them do. That's the weird thing. Many of them do. So we'll go down the list. This is one of the old ones from, I think, one of his friends from back in Brooklyn.
And something, not to interrupt, but something I have not been able to corroborate. Has Ghislaine said, yes, this is real?
Well, I don't know if she has yet, but I mean, you'll notice as we're looking through all these files, this came from the House Oversight Committee. Like it's literally like stamped on every single one of these. So somebody in either the House Oversight Committee or maybe some sort of apprentice or one of the people like, you know, doing the running, somebody leaked all this. So as far as I know, and again, it's been verified by Wall Street Journal and I forget who else. It's been verified. I don't know about by Jelaine, but again, why would you trust anything she has to say? She claims that Epstein never
No.
did
I was
anything
just curious if she had
Jeffrey.
said,
Yeah.
yes, that is
Not,
accurate or real.
I'm not sure yet, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, like it's verified, like multiple people who are in the book have been like, yeah, okay, I sent that letter. So the
Really?
letters are
Who?
I'm pretty sure who was it. Let's go down some of these and we'll go through them. But anyways, first one right here came from one of his old friends from Brooklyn as he tells a story about Jeffrey. Listen to this. Girls on my boat. We picked up girls on beach, went out on boat. I tell them with knife in my hand to take suits off. But Warren tells, don't worry. His name is JN. He's just joking. We live at so-and-so. I tell Mark to throw him into water. He did. So again, these people are like, hey, on your 50th birthday, I want to remind you some of my favorite stories of you. Like that time we pulled a knife on girls in bikinis and told them to strip.
But why does he write like he's fucking illiterate?
Well, he is. That's the thing. Apparently, Jeffrey practically is. I started looking through. There was we'll get to this later on. There was a huge leak of former Prime Minister Ehud Barak's emails showing all of his deep ties with Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's like emails to Barak are insanely dumb. Like he can't spell words. He can't syntax a sentence correctly. He literally is like half brain broken. But we didn't know that because everybody kept saying he was a freaking financial genius, even though no one knows what he did for his money.
And he was a teacher.
And he was a teacher without a degree in teaching.
Yep.
Yeah.
And who was Barack who?
This was the former prime minister of Israel.
Right.
Barak. Okay. Yeah. All his emails got leaked and hacked and leaked recently. So wild stuff. All right,
it's
now
amazing
here's a letter.
How the terrorist state of Israel keeps coming up with things like this.
Some weird reason. I don't get it.
It's almost as though, like grooming and yeah.
Who knows? All right, here's a letter from Alan Dershowitz. This one says, this says, Dear Jeffrey, as a birthday gift to you, I managed to obtain an early version of the Vanity Unfair article. I talked them into changing the focus from you to Bill Clinton, as you will see from the enclosed excerpt. Happy birthday and best regards.
I still, every time I think of this absolute trash piece of shit scum who like burning in hell would be too good for him, every time I think about him, I think of how the day Ghislaine got arrested, the fucking day, MSNBC had Alan Dershowitz on for comment. He was the guest. They were asking him what his thoughts are as a lawyer. Mind-blowing.
It's like, sir, we know you were the lawyer for the most prolific trafficker of underage girls in the history of history. We wanted your opinion on this crime. We don't need his opinion. We know his opinion.
And now he's the official lawyer of Israel.
Isn't that weird? God, it's just so crazy. It's all tied together, it seems like. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. There's so many. This gets so gross. It never stops being gross. That's the craziest part. This one says, and it's got a lot of victims' names censored out. That's pretty much all they censored out, I think, was victims' names. But blank, the rabbi's daughter. Jeff would call the house rabbi's office and say, this is blank's father. I would bring her up to your mother's house and make her take her top off so we could touch her chest. Her and blank would play together with toys. So literally, they say they would pretend to be her dad to get her out of, I guess, school so that they could. Like, I mean, every single one of these letters is just grosser and grosser. And again, remember, all these people, when this first went down, when Jeffrey got popped, they're like, we had no idea. We just thought he was a financier. We had no idea. Every one of these letters is like, buddy, we have every idea what you do, and we love it. Oh,
But
give
he
me
was
more.
already in prison for this shit and pleaded guilty. So anyone who's like, oh, we had no idea, you're fucking full of shit. I was talking about this the other night. When Jeffrey got out after, like, I believe it was 2003 or something, when he got out, Woody Allen had a get out of prison party for him with all kinds of famous people. Literally, you can fucking find it everywhere. A get out of prison party.
Oh, and go ahead and go read the Woody Allen's children's literal like reports of what that man did to them.
Oh, I watched the documentary and I threw up twice.
It's horrific. It was
disgusting.
Like, the dude literally married a girl that he like adopted and raised practically from toddlerhood. And the fact that people, that alone should have been enough to been like, dude, you're persona non grata for life. You're done. Yeah. But no, then his other kids were like, no, he's the monster of all monsters. And the things that he did to us have scarred us for life. And and what happens? Woody Allen's like, oh, their mom brainwashed them into thinking I did these things. I never did these things. And all the celebrities are right behind him. And they're like, that's right. Your kids were brainwashed into thinking that you molested them. Also, good to see your daughter that you married is here. Hi. I remember you from your first birthday party. Hi. Like, what?
That's got to be a special kind of Stockholm syndrome. Like, it's...
Yeah. Awful. Yeah, I genuinely do feel for Sun-Yi, man. Like, I don't know what she went through. I can only imagine from just the stories of the other kids that told what happened to her. I don't even know what her side of it is, man. Like, wow. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll keep going. I don't have to read them all, but I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on and on. Just this one. This one has to be seen to be believed and read. That's Jeffrey on the left wearing pantyhose on his head, and we don't know who the dude on the right is, but he's got a knife and a balaclava on his head. And I'm going to read to you what this says. This is insane. Finally, at the home of our friend, let's call him Mr. Brown, Jeffrey unveiled his plan. To some, it may have seemed a get-rich-quick scheme, but to me, it was pure genius. Rob and Unalive was the name of the plan. The first victim, Blank, to be attacked and brutally plundered. Would she want more than that? On the boardwalk in Venice Beach, broad daylight, the dastardly thieves were never caught. Postscript. I retired from the life, but I recently read an article in New York which led me to believe that my old friend Mr. E had continued on and become an industry leader. They just talked about how they unalived and assaulted someone and got away with it, and that he went on to become the industry leader of that life. What do you do with this even? Like, this is insane. Like, is this fantasy? Because that's what somebody, if I were these people, I'd be like, oh, it was all some creepy fantasy or whatever. Why would you ever put your face, your name on anything where you're like, yeah, we were off just stabbing. You're like, what is going on here?
Is Slick Willie in here anywhere?
He is, sadly, of all the letters I read, and I'm not even kidding you, his might have been the nicest and most tame. His was literally just like, oh, geez, I hope you have a happy birthday there, buddy. Like, that's about it. Bill, your buddy Bill. Like, that's about it. But
does he say he had him to the White House 16 times?
No, he doesn't mention that. But that's what I'm saying. Most of these letters, these people are happy to just out the nastiest, most literal crimes, because they thought this would never see the light of day, because this dude was supposed to be untouchable for life, and they all knew it. That's why they all did business with him, because they knew they couldn't get caught.
I was hoping you'd say that picture of Bill in pantyhose and the dress with folded legs over the chair that Epstein had framed in his fucking house was in the
Weird.
birthday thing.
Yeah. So weird. So weird. All right. Here's another good one. This one says, he is the boyfriend of blank. We think he works for the CIA. Well, you might be right. I don't know. Another one, girl says, it all happened so quickly. And then it says, from the Hawker to the 727.
Okay, wait. Go back up.
Mm-hmm. To this one?
Okay, and then if you go down a little to the plane.
Yeah.
Why do I get Kennedy vibes?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I forget his first name. The one he was dating, Caroline something or Catherine something.
Was that Ted?
Huh?
Was that Ted Kennedy?
No. This was like 20 years ago. This was more recent.
Okay.
He was a young, good-looking guy. John Kennedy. John.
Oh, yeah.
The little boy when his dad was unalived and then he grew up.
Yeah.
I feel like his wife was something with a C. And he and she were unalived in a plane crash, and it was always kind of sus. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm getting those vibes. I have no idea if that's what this is, but I mean, Kennedys are kind of big named people, and I know RFK Jr. has links to fucking E.
Self-admitted.
Yeah.
It's insane. This one I won't read all the details through, but literally they write at the top, birthday greetings to Degenerate 1. And then it's signed Degenerate 2.
Degenerate?
These people know they're degenerates. They know they're the worst. They know it, and they say it.
Oh my God. I can't.
It's incredible. And there's just more.
Like, no, we're just joking, really. Wink, wink.
Let's see if I can. Okay, so I didn't have the classic one pulled up. I should have. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That's the one that, I didn't have that in my list here, but I know I have it. Give me 2 seconds. But I don't know. I've been looking through, like I said, I went through about half of the book. God, there's a children's section, which is terrifying. Yeah, with like literal pictures of like kids posing in like model type poses, but they look like they're like, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so now, is there anyone's name besides Trump?
Yeah. There's
is not blacked out.
Oh, well, in this case, I don't think I'm not sure if his names were blacked out or not, because that letter got released. So, and that wasn't blacked out. So I'm not 100% if
Trump.
these leaks. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm saying anyone besides Trump, because I have issues with the Democrats being the ones to release this. I don't think we're going to see anyone's name except Trump.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really, really, really hoping, because like a lot of people have been named in this already. Like I said, 230 odd pages. I've seen at least dozens of names that I recognize, many more I don't. But
like who?
It's crazy. So again, we've got like the current UK ambassador to America. He's in this book. You got again, you got Bill Clinton, you got Donald Trump, you got Alan Dershowitz. I had a list somewhere of just like all the dang names. If I find I got to find the original document that got leaked, because there's a Ghislaine put in a table of contents into this book, so you can literally look at every person and see who wrote a letter. I mean, it's wild stuff. Anyways, here, of course, is the famous letter we learned about a month ago, but we didn't have a visual on. And again, I remember everybody was like imagining that the drawing was of a woman. But this is not a drawing of a woman. And that's what's so insanely terrifying, and what makes all the
What
dialogue
is it a drawing of them?
It looks to be a prepubescent woman.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say
instead of having,
understand.
yeah, exactly. So instead of having breasts, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. And then things like a pal is a wonderful thing. May you have many wonderful secrets. When you write that inside the drawing of a prepubescent girl, it definitely makes the secret seem a lot more spooky, doesn't it? Like, what the fuck? And I stuck
What's on the post-it? What's that say?
So I used that to compare, because everybody was like, Trump didn't draw this. That's not even his signature. And I'm like, dude, there are multiple versions of Trump's signature to Epstein in other letters and gifts he has given to Epstein. And you can compare his signature on other Epstein things to this Epstein thing.
E things.
Oh, sorry. J things, Jeffrey things. Yes. My mind is blown. My mind is absolutely blown. This dude, Donald Trump, and this Jeffrey guy, they seem to have a deeper, more complex relationship than I have had with any member of my entire family. I've never been this close with anyone. And I don't think, other than like maybe romantic partners, I don't think I've ever been this close to anyone in my entire life. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
Well, that's because you're, as far as I know, not trying to hide any, secrets that can, get you thrown in prison.
Well, I mean, thankfully,
that's why I always say, like, Hillary, Hizzlebub, and Slick Willie will never get divorced because they aren't required to testify against each other when they're married. Mm-hmm. You have to keep each other close.
It's true. I want to jump one more time back to this image because I meant to show it to y'all earlier. But again, this was the main image. But look at what's in the background of Jeffrey as he gets his 4 blonde girl naked massage. What's that in the background? Oh, it's Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my God. And that picture was in there?
Yes. It's
but we don't know who drew it.
This one did not have a name, but it might if I check the table of contents. But most of them have a name or a signature. This one did not, but it might have a name connected in the table of contents. Although,
if someone's smart, they wouldn't put a fucking name.
Yeah, well, what amazes me is if any of these people were smart, they never would have written a letter condoning crime with a criminal. And I'm telling you that they only did it because they knew they would never, ever get caught. This book was never supposed to see the light of day. Never. And they knew this. Hence the reason they all participated. Mm-hmm. So that tells me that they knew that Jeffrey was never going to experience any sort of actual accountability.
Yeah.
Just like Acosta said, he's a intelligence asset. Leave it alone.
Yep.
And there it is. So, yeah, one more thing I wanted to throw in from Ehud Barak and his leaks. Check this out. Oh, goodness. There's apparently yet another Jeffrey birthday book. Because we found out from these leaked emails in 2015, October 13th, 2015, it says a hacked email from the inbox of former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak shows efforts to compile a birthday booklet for Jeffrey more than a decade after President Donald Trump allegedly contributed to a similar gift. The email sent on October 13th, 2015 by the disgraced financier's then assistant Leslie Groff asks recipients to contribute a short story for the book to be gifted to Jeffrey on his 63rd birthday. So there's yet another one of these books somewhere.
Okay, so I do want to point out that it says a short story. So that could mean this is a story, which is still fucked up as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But it could mean, I mean, there's truth to every story, but the one thing that's kind of standing out is the whole thing about the knife and unaliving someone. I've never heard of anything like that in this. Would it be like that crazy? No, because usually there is unaliving with shit like this. But the fact that it says tell a story, perhaps not everything is 100% true, but the fact of the matter is anyone who even write that has a real fucked up head.
Well, and story doesn't necessarily imply falsehood. A story could literally be a story of a time you and Jeffrey hung out. Those are,
Right.
that is a story. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've never in my life seen people that are this evil being this openly evil. It reminds me of Trump and the Access Hollywood tape, where he's like bragging to millionaires. Oh yeah, I love assaulting ladies in elevators because they let you do it because I'm rich. It's like, dude, who does that? Who is evil enough that they brag about their crimes? Like,
people
why
with
would you do
hubris who know it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still be president twice after saying that.
Somehow. I remember what was his name? Oh God, he ran for the Democratic primary and he made that goofy noise. Howard Dean went, ha! And suddenly everybody's like, well, this guy clearly isn't serious and we can't have him as a candidate. Donald Trump's like, oh yeah, I just like banging pregnant ladies in elevators against their will. And everybody's like, it's locker room time.
Mm-hmm.
Like where's the well, this is obviously disqualifying. Where was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, well, we can jump on to the next topic. I just wanted to touch on that because like I've never in my life seen criminals being this just open with their crime. It's incredible. It's like finding a social media site for criminals, but it's like a handwritten one. It's like, wow.
And
so.
honestly, I am terrified for the victims because several of them are coming out with books this month. And I am so scared for them because, I mean, well, for obvious reasons, I'm very scared for them. I've spoken to the Farmer Sisters a few times. They follow me on Twitter, and they're just so strong. And so, like Maria Farmer, I've spoken with the most, and just so strong and so brave. And so I'm concerned about them, as I'm sure all of you are. And it's really, it's just bananas that every time they speak, they have to say, I am not considering self-harm. I am not, like, you have to say it. And I digress a bit, but I remember, when I would have Tara Reid on the show and things like that, and she would say things like that because it's you just feel like you need to say it just in case, because you get threats. So
don't forget, Jeffrey wrote like posts saying, hey, I'm not going to unalive myself. I have no desire to unalive myself. And then, oops, she unalived herself.
Yeah.
So they claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to jump on to the next topic. Delve into an ICE video that you sent me here. So let's do it.
We're on the lookout for National Guard just to show you how they're not doing shit in the city. And we found fucking ICE hanging out in some unmarked vehicles. All right. So here we got two National Guard guys just walking around. Let me give you a close up. They're just walking around the National Mall. There's the monument right there. And let me ask you this. Are they stopping crime? Nope. even if they saw crime in action right now, they can't stop it. Did you know the military is not allowed to conduct law enforcement activities? It's literally against the law. It's called Posse Comitatus Act. So if these two National Guard members who are casually strolling around the mall for no reason saw crime, they can't do anything. They can call Metro Police, right? So they can be like community watch, all right? But they can't stop it. They're literally just here to walk around. Now, the same two I just saw you met up with 3 more who are also walking around. Again, it's not their fault. I understand that, but I need everyone else to understand that you keep making this argument that crime is down in DC. I'm not even going to argue with you about crime rates because crime rates don't matter. Even if crime rates were up, you don't deploy the National Guard. That's not how the Guard works. They're not a law enforcement entity. But I tell you, even if crime is quote unquote down in.
So you join.
So we're on the lookout for.
I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry. I
You have your chat open. Like we can all see your chat.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Oh,
you're
thanks.
sharing your screen. And I was like, are you trying to send me a message? Like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so the video essentially is just proof that, you know, it's very braggadocious. We are going to, you know, send the National Guard there and they're going to, you know, shape up everything and they're just walking around doing nothing.
Yep. Insane. I do not understand. And the Posse Comitatus thing is what I've been saying for days now, which is how is he getting around this? And he's not. It's all the same bullshit that they've been doing. They break the law. They keep breaking the law. Federal court says quit breaking the law. They keep breaking the law. Some appeals court says quit breaking the law. They keep breaking the law. Then it goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, you're the king. You can break any law you want. So I don't know. Like I know why they're doing it, and I know how they're getting away with it because they just don't believe in the Constitution or our laws. It's frustrating.
Well, I saw today, I saw it like minutes before we went on the air, so I don't have like a lot of information, but I did see how Trump is going to put a stop to Americans going with people who have been captured by ICE to court to be there to assist them. This isn't lawyers or anything. This would be like, say, if you or I heard of someone who was arrested by ICE, perhaps only spoke Spanish, and I understand a lot of Spanish and I speak some of it. So like if I would go there to help them, or if I'm knowledgeable about it and wanted to be there to support them or something like that, he wants to do away with that and not let them be accompanied by anyone.
Yep. Well, before we jump off of this topic into your next one, I did want to share one thing that I was thinking about in the ICE realms here. I saw this meme today and I thought it nailed it. And we're going to talk some about Venezuela here later on. But it says, imagine the future history books. In 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional to consider race in helping a Latino student get into college. But it's totally awesome to consider race when throwing their dad into a concentration camp. And the point that they're making, which again, it's pretty dang clear, is why did the Supreme Court in 2025 rule that you cannot use a race as a factor when you are admitting students, when you are hiring people to your business, but you can use race when you're just arresting everyone?
Yes.
How does this work? How do they square these two absolutely contradictory things?
Well, when one fits their narrative, it's cool. I mean, since you brought up Venezuela, why don't we just watch that video now?
Yeah, we'll jump over to Venezuela. Let's do it.
Because I thought this gentleman did a really great breakdown.
The United States has bombed the boat coming out of Venezuela.
Have you ever wondered why Americans have been so obsessed with Venezuela for 25 years? Let's break it down.
Venezuela has the largest oil reserves of any country on the planet. Americans are addicted to doing everything but the right thing, and oil is the biggest monkey on their back. They are just 4% of the population, but they are guzzling down 20% of humanity's oil. For 25 years, Americans have been manufacturing artificial crises in Venezuela so that they can force a regime change and get their grubby little hands on that oil. It didn't work, and now they are trying to provoke Venezuela into war. But aren't Venezuelans starving? Yup. Americans have always used starvation as a weapon to steal resources. They burn crops. They illegally mine harbors. They impose unjustified economic sanctions. 200 years ago, they infected blankets to murder people and steal their land. And 2 months ago, they opened fire on starving children carrying bags of flour. Whether they want your land or your precious metal or your water or your oil, Americans starve the innocent to take it. They view everything on this planet as theirs, and they are devouring it all. And if you think they won't come for you eventually, you're a goddamn fool.
I think you just defined exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Wow, that was potent. Thank you, Joy.
Yeah, that was really good.
No doubt.
One proud to be an American. something, and I don't forget the day something, and then I'll stand up
next to you. You know what's so funny?
I love this land. God bless the USA.
So as you know, Joy, I've been doing karaoke for a long time. Way back in the day, I had a karaoke bar that I used to frequent, and they had this crazy tradition where they had this little tiny stage that was maybe big enough for like 2 or 3 people to like stand shoulder to shoulder on. But every night, at the end of the night, the entire bar would climb onto this stage, like 30 some people, and like pile in as best they could, and they would all sing God Bless America every night, but they would all be so wasted that it was just the most incredible like yowling squad of like cats that you have ever heard in your life. It was an amazing thing to witness. It really was.
Oh man, I hope you have that videotape somewhere.
I wish. That was back in the day before you had phone cameras, man. I missed
that
those days.
That would have been amazing.
It really, really was. All right, I got one more thing in the Venezuela before we jump on. I thought this was a pretty powerful note from Abby Martin. It says, for my entire life, I've watched the corporate media sell us war after war, always telling us who our enemies are, which countries need saving, and which governments should be overthrown. And every single time, it turns out they lied. Hashtag hands off Venezuela. That was from Abby Martin. So perfect. It's true. Every single war that they have tried to gaslight you into supporting was a lie. All of them.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, before we jump into the fattest topic of our evening with it looks like Gaza related, flotilla related things, I wanted to jump back into our viewers for tonight. We had a few other people jump in. Brett Boyle, CA jumped in, CEB Applejack, and he wanted to give you a shout out. He said, Joy was there at my first visit when we protested the EPA. This most recent visit, I interviewed a few East Palestine residents, including Curtis May, who had to move his children 2 states away. And then it says, Due Dissonance was kind enough to have me on about it, and I had to shout you out. So he gave you a shout out.
Thanks, comrade.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, they've had me on quite a number of times. Most recently for my book. But yeah, about EP a number of times, and one of the times I was on Due Dissidence for East Palestine was I was extremely sick, like violently ill, I will never forget that. That I was like trying to talk to them, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so lightheaded. I can't stop barfing." Like, because that air is only getting worse. 2.5 years later, it's not getting any better. It is getting worse. Yeah, I've been there 4 times now. I absolutely cannot wait to get back, but the whole, money thing kind of sucks. And for those of you who don't know, my mom is in hospice and I am her caretaker. So trips haven't really been possible for me as of late. But yeah, I still talk to many people in East Palestine, and yeah, they're definitely my family. So I can't wait to get back.
Yep.
So thanks for the shout out, buddy. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate all of our awesome viewers. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you guys. Click the like, smash the subscribe, destroy the patriarchy, do all the things. All right.
All the things.
We're going to pull up our next topic. All of them, please. Our next topic. We're going to jump into what's happening in the UK over protests of Gaza. Let's see what happens.
I have been watching children being slaughtered every day for 2 years.
I'm a person of peace.
You're not a terrorist.
I am not a terrorist. To arrest somebody who is a peacemaker for terrorism is ridiculous. I'm a peace activist.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Free Gaza! Free humanity!
I'm prepared to be arrested because of the legislation is immoral and needs to be overturned.
You're protecting the government who are making this genocide happen. At this point, I don't know how you still put that in.
This is disgusting. This is the crime of the century.
Well, there are clearly lobbyists at work in putting pressure on government to legislate the way they have.
Our Prime Minister is strongly influenced by the US. He wants to keep in with Trump. And Trump, as we know, supports Israel.
I promise you, officer, you have a choice. You're only following orders. It's always only following orders until it's too late.
Jesus would stand with Palestine Action, and I stand with Jesus. And in years to come, people will look back and say, why didn't we do anything about this? So I'm trying to do something now. Yeah.
In the puzzle adventure Recur, a catastrophe.
Well, that was fantastic.
It doesn't matter. We've seen people in wheelchairs get arrested, elderly get arrested. Literally, I almost got arrested once. I was arrested once, but that was a while ago. I almost got arrested for in a Palestine protest, but true story. When the cop came around and he saw I had a white cane, he left. I'm not shitting you. Like, he was like, "Oh, that bitch is blind."
I know you have your visual impairment. One of the people in that video, I don't know if you could fully see what was going on. He was in a wheelchair. He had a genetic deformity. He didn't have eyes.
Oh, really?
He was in a wheelchair and didn't have eyes. And the cops were putting him in handcuffs and carrying him away. He's a terrorist who is in a wheelchair with no eyes, who held up a sign. It's incredible stuff.
And, you can't deny the fact that you were not only complicit in this, that you helped push it. Because these videos, photos of all these fucking cops and shit, history will remember. History will fucking remember.
I mean, someday somebody is going to use this same stupid facial recognition technology that the police state's trying to use against us. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to build a Facebook of war criminals. And it's going to be you. If you're a police officer, if you're an ICE officer, if you're in the police in UK and you are arresting people for standing up against a genocide, one day somebody will be like, who lives near me who is a war criminal, and your photo will pop up on their screen. Know that. Know that this will burn you. You will burn for this. Maybe don't do it.
This is a literal Holocaust.
Yes.
So, 2 years ago or so, we were posting, I call it memes, but posting things that say, now we know what you would do during World War II. We know how you would respond in a Holocaust right now. People are, oh, you're being so over dramatic. No, we know history. We understand what's happening to Palestine since 1948. We actually educated ourselves and we fucking know. And it's almost like we were all fucking psychic 2 years ago. And, it's just so, because at this point, 2 years in, you are still not even, just like aware, but you aren't in the fucking streets. Who the fuck? How are you better? How are you better? Please tell me, how are you better than those who sat quiet during the World War II Holocaust? How are you better? Please explain. Because to me, you are worse. Because now we are watching it live in front of our eyes. We are literally fucking watching it. And you're doing nothing.
I want to back up your point, and I think about this all the time. When you ask the question, like just a philosophical question, what would you do if you had a time machine? Like 98% of people respond, oh, I'd go back and unalive Hitler, because that's something that you can do nothing about right now, but would have a massive good impact on humanity. Now imagine that if you didn't need a time machine to stop this now, what would you do? Because you don't need a time machine. You just need to stand up now.
Yep. And all of these people who are obsessed with Trump, the TDS, Trump derangement syndrome people, who literally talk about Trump 24/7 and nothing else, we have heard them say things like, he will stop elections. Okay. Netanyahu was up for election over a year ago and hasn't agreed to that election because he's a fucking fascist. That's why. And we've heard people say Trump will commit international war crimes. Netanyahu has committed dozens for decades, not just now. And you say nothing. There are so many things that Netanyahu does that they say they are scared of Trump doing that he has not yet done. But
I won't put it past him. I think he'll do any of it. He's sick.
You cannot physically be more fascist than Netanyahu. You can't. You literally can't. The epitome of fascist, racist, violent, hateful, absolute, just worst, despicable trash. You cannot get worse than him and what he is doing. And everything you're saying you are scared of Trump doing, he is already doing, has already been doing, and will continue doing. And you fucking say nothing.
And he'll continue doing it with near unanimous support of the Democratic Party. So what do we do with that info?
Tell them all to eat a bag of dicks.
Man, oh man, I that's like the nicer end of what I want to say to him. Anyways, let's move to the next video before I say something inappropriate.
Yeah, that was like as nice as it gets, because I'm feeling myself like deep breath. So we are going to go to our next video on GAZA, and there are a lot. It's really, really difficult to pick which ones I want to show because there are so fucking many.
Yep. All right, let's start her up.
Do you see the occupation of Palestine as a result of capitalist imperialism?
Yeah, I think we have to understand, why does the US support this genocidal regime? It's strange because it's deeply unpopular in the US. People want to see the genocide stop. They recognize that Israel is being extremely destructive, committing war crimes, violating international law, etc. Why would the US continue to support to the point of debasing their own apparent values so publicly? And the reason is because the US sees Israel as crucial to the interests of the capitalist class. Now, let me explain exactly what's going on here. The US started supporting Israel in the 1960s. Now, why was that? Is because across the Middle East and North Africa, there was a movement called Pan-Arabism and also Pan-Africanism, which were inspiring the masses in these regions. And the US knew, if you're looking at the Middle East and North Africa, which they consider to be the linchpin of the world, an area like this going independent and having control over their own resources is deeply threatening to the possibility of
Existential threat.
Existential threat, totally. And so they knew they needed some way of destabilizing these movements, and they used Israel to do that. So Israel became kind of the attack dog of the United States. They armed it to the teeth. They directly used Israel to destabilize the more radical movements in the Middle East, the socialist movements in the Middle East. They used Israel to bomb countries, assassinate leaders, destroy progressive political associations, et cetera, et cetera. It's effectively a US military base in the region.
It's not just about having a military presence in an oil-rich area, but it's actually fundamental to the operation of this imperialist capitalist economic model that's global and runs much deeper than just the oil trade.
Absolutely. It's not just about any particular resource. It's about, we have to dismantle the very possibility of these popular socialist movements ever winning the hearts and minds of people, which they automatically do, right? And so they have to be violently crushed. And so it's not necessarily like the US desperately needs Gaza to be obliterated, but rather they cannot stomach the possibility of a liberated Palestine, because this might lead to liberation movements elsewhere in the region, and that becomes very destabilizing for the US. Freedom is not an acceptable idea.
Wow.
Yep. So fucking good.
Yep.
That's my kink. I said that with such a straight face because I didn't realize it would be taken funny. I was like, yup, that's my kink.
You're like, no, I meant it.
I meant it. Yes. Thank you, fellas.
Oh, man.
What do we have next?
Let's go to the next one here.
Also, she was about to go into campaigning on the behalf of the Palestinians. They did intend to at least seriously injure or kill her. And it's not just about the fact that, was she pregnant, wasn't she? We'll never know, because they embalmed her against all French law so quickly. And all the other speculative things you see in the press. It's also the fact that it was reported that she was being a great success in the landmine campaign that she was running. But also, she was about to go into campaigning on the behalf of the Palestinians. Now, you can imagine someone of Princess Diana's profile doing that. They would not have tolerated it. They could not have dealt with that. So I think that's why she was taken out.
I know she did things for Palestinians and was an advocate. I've never heard that. It's very interesting. I have no proof. I'll be transparent. Like, today's the first time I've even heard this. But crazier shit has happened.
Well, I mean,
that's one of those things. Like, I remember, I'm old. I remember when she died in the car accident, and to this day people are still saying it made no sense, and it didn't make sense. Like, there were so many things that just didn't fucking make sense, and for a long time people wondered, was this a hit? Was this, like, there's something really fucking sketchy about the way she died? So given that, and I don't know how many people say it anymore, but I remember when it happened in the 90s. I mean, we all talked about that. That was like very present in our confusion, how things happened in the actual car accident. It was very weird. So I'm not like, I find this very interesting.
Well, part of it carries some weight because the whole landmine campaign that she was doing, she had pissed off the royal family so much with this because, again, what she was doing was standing up, even though it was only in part through these smaller projects, it was standing up to empire. Literally the hand that feeds her. And they were not happy about it. And they were already in the process of trying to push her out. And I've heard theories of, was it intentional? Was it accidental? I can't say because I also don't have the proof, but I know that the royal family was already at their last straw with her because she was standing up to empire. So,
yep.
We'll jump up to the next one here. Bless you, Comrade Bird.
The bird, though. Like nature knows. Nature always knows. Okay, so let's see. There's been a bobcat, a shark, a bird, and I know there's been more. There's been other animals, at least 2 or 3 more, who have helped us in this fight. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Fantastic.
All right, we'll pull
seriously, that bird is my I think since Birdie, that is my next favorite bird. So you only get so many legendary birds in one life, and that bird is a legend.
And there are people who still think that Bernie's Birdie was a robot, which is fascinating. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Oh man, I love stupid people. Thank goodness for stupid people.
I know, it's entertaining. I love it.
I mean, they suck, but also that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I saved all the tweets. Like, people were like, it's not even a real bird. It's remote control. It's a robot. Like all the shill bots. Like, I saved all of those tweets because they were fucking amazing. I was like, this can't be real. Oh, it was fucking real. It was.
And then again, people are like, what? Why do they keep calling us blue MAGA? It's like, because you're literally a blue version of the same thing and you keep saying the same things. You yell fake news just like they yell fake news. You're the same fucking thing. Mindless cultists, man. Just, Anyway.
This guy, I want to give a hug. Like, I love him. I hope you guys love him.
Let's do it.
Is it terrorism if you have a placard saying Free Palestine, but if you drop bombs on children in Gaza, is that considered terrorism? I'm here surrounded by terrorists. Keir Starmer thinks these people are as dangerous as Al-Qaeda or ISIS. So I'm here today to ask, ma'am, why did you decide to become a terrorist?
Well, I don't think I'm a terrorist, but I think the people dropping bombs on children and hospitals in Gaza are the real terrorists. And why we're here is to protect democracy and to stop the misuse of terror laws to silence peaceful protesters.
How does it feel to be called a terrorist?
Well, it's a bit insulting. It's surreal. I mean, I'm just sitting on the floor holding a piece of cardboard. I'm not terrifying anyone.
You could possibly face up to 14 years in jail for just holding up a placard. Is it really worth it?
Look at the number of people here. There is no way they're going to build all these new prisons they need to send us to. They've got this wrong and they're going to have to back down.
Who do you think the real terrorists are?
The traditional definition of terrorism is the use of violence against a civilian population in order to achieve political aims. Quite obviously, the Israeli state is using unprecedented, horrific violence against the Palestinian civilian population.
I just want to clarify one thing. Today, people holding those signs, that's considered terrorism, but dropping bombs on children isn't considered terrorism.
To contact the Met Police Press Bureau.
Is it scary, though, being confronted by 1,000 terrorists coming at you?
King, love him.
God, that's so brilliant.
Have a good day. Oh my God, I can't.
All right, on to the next one. Man, that's beautiful. Can I say I need more of that in my life? I just need to see more people standing up for their own humanity. Oh my God, please. Here comes our next one.
If you cared so much about Palestine, mate, why aren't you there? Why aren't you fucking fighting them? There is no fucking fight in Palestine. There literally isn't one. It's just like one massive, massive armed forces, which is supported by all of the global superpowers, dropping bombs on starving people. And you are so upset that I want to talk about something other than you, aren't you? You're like, fucking hell, mate, not this guy going on about the starving kids again. Fucking hell, look in a mirror. Do you hate what you see? Because I do. It's all these people that seem to think that you only care about one area and that's your country. But guess fucking what, mate? We're fucking involved. We are involved in it. I don't understand why it's so fucking crazy to think that I might care about someone else when we are the people doing the thing to them. Like, the people that comment this make me think, fucking hell, there really is zero hope for anyone ever. Because apparently I'm not allowed to talk about something unless I go there and I actively fight it, when there is no fight. There isn't a fight. What you actually do you think that this is a war? Are you thick as shit? Yes. Sorry, I that was obvious. I don't know why I asked.
But seriously, I mean, I'm sure we've all had people ask that. Well, why don't you go there? How? First of all, they're not even letting anyone in, genius. Second of all, if I went there, I would only be unalived and starved. Like, what don't you fucking understand? Like, it is so much racism. It's pure fucking racism. These poor brown folks, fuck them. If you cared about them, you would be there. It's just people who are selfish and self-involved have no concept of how someone could possibly care about things that don't affect them personally. They cannot comprehend it.
Yeah. What is that? Like, is it a genetic thing, or have their brains been warped by propaganda? Because, like, it doesn't make sense to me, the idea that you can't just feel for another human being.
Sociopathy.
Yeah. It's wild. Well, let's jump to the next one. This one might be fun. It's got a funny guy. I don't know if it's funny, but it's got a funny guy.
Oh, I love him so much.
Yes.
Right, Basim, your response to Jonathan.
Respectfully
to round up.
please.
Basim will now be allowed to speak without interruption to finish the debate. Basim.
Here's the thing. Nobody believes you, Israel. Nobody believes you. Nobody likes you. No matter how much media covers for you, no matter how much politicians you buy to parrot your talking points, no matter how many fake influencers you hire to whitewash your face, no matter how many fake Indian-based accounts that tweet for you, no matter how many European models you bring in and you pay them so they can dance with the IDF uniform, right? Everybody can see you. Everybody can smell your bullshit, right? You are like the neighbor who firebombs everybody's house and he's sad why he's not invited to a house party, right? You will win in the battlefield. You will get more land because America supports you. It's like supporting a rabid dog that shits on your lawns and eats your cats and bites everybody and it's like, oh, just like you have a bad day. You will win, maybe on the battlefield, but everybody knows who you are. A bunch of heartless, psychopathic, demonic assholes.
Right,
Woo!
Yes! I love him so fucking much.
Yes. Ditto.
Yay. I want to hug him so bad. I love him. He's the best. He's like the best, though. I gotta say, like the absolute best. He was like, "You're like Shaggy. It wasn't me. You're like Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Who killed that kid? It wasn't me." Like, oh my God. Like, if you're not at least 40, you will not understand that. But it was so amazing.
Quit calling me out over here, Joy. Jeez.
I'm 46. I mean, come on. I'm old as hell. What do we have next?
All right, we got the next one coming up here. Good Lord.
A master race, chosen by God to kill and displace, to maim and erase entire families. A light unto nations, chosen by the Creator to bomb and murder, to rape and torture, elected by the Almighty to destroy the Holy Land, desecrate the body, the church, the mosque, the earth, a nation set apart, chosen by God, empowered by Western governments to ignore border lines and attack multiple countries at a time, wiping out their leaders. Iran, Yemen, who's next? You see, this was promised thousands of years ago, a religious alibi forged to cover for an imperial agenda, expansionist dreams for geopolitical commercial gains. The righteous, chosen to sacrifice innocents, incite famine, systematic execution, demolishing infrastructure, uprooting trees, rewriting hard-won liberties. Freedom of speech is anti-Semitic, you see. And holy war is above international law. Praise the Lord.
Damn. Well put.
Yep, she nailed it.
Indeed. Well, we got a few more before we get to our closer, so let's get a couple more and let's see what we got here.
I find some of the criticism of Israel quite scary. And how do we separate our valid criticisms of Israel from anti-Semitic criticisms of Israel?
Right now, we're killing their kids. We're not saying we're sorry. And anti-Semitism is on the rise around the world. Why don't we stop killing their kids, obey international law, not engage in atrocities, and then see if anti-Semitism drops?
Wow.
I find
so
Is that
obvious.
not like the best own in like 10 seconds?
Yeah. So
It's that fucking simple.
I have a friend of mine who's, I'm not even kidding you, like their significant other, it makes Hasbara, like literally like does the whitewashing Israel's crimes. And at one point I was literally just asking him basically exactly that. It's like, now you keep like saying that anti-Semitism is like wildly on the rise, but don't you think that this is why it's on the rise? Like, if you want to stop anti-Semitism, don't you want to maybe stop the thing that's making everybody anti-Semitic?
And I think part of that also is that, you know, we've heard we are anti-Semitic for 2 years.
Everything.
And even when we're not, we're told we are. So yes, you are hearing that word millions of times. That is not an exaggeration. I mean, this has been 2 years. The amount of times it's said, be it on the news, be it in person, be it on TV, it doesn't matter. It is overused to the point that when legitimate anti-Semitism happens, because hello, we all know it exists, it is not believed or it is downplayed because we have all been called it a million times. So all they're doing is actually making it less, it's not going to be taken seriously as a hate crime when you're saying it exists 24/7. Also, what have there been like literally 8 instances in the past 2 months that I've heard of Jewish people doing their own hate crimes and being discovered that they were the ones doing it and going to jail. This does not help. So, I mean, these two things, one, stop using the word anti-Semitic if someone is simply sticking up for Palestine. That's the first thing. The second thing is stop doing things and blaming it on anti-Semitism when you do it yourself. Those two things can make a world of difference. But yes, even though there is absolutely zero acceptable reason to hate, to just be like, all Jews are this, all Jews are that. it does, when we are watching the atrocities that are happening, and the state of Israel has the Star of David on its flag, they will be conflated. Be it right or wrong, they will be conflated. You are having something that is called the State of Israel, which is entirely a Jewish state. That is otherism. That is supremacy. We don't like supremacy, whether it's white supremacy, Jewish supremacy, Muslim supremacy. It's supremacy.
Yes.
The idea that you are supreme, you are so much better than others. That's not okay. And the fact that that is looked at, the criticism of that is looked at as just this blanket term of anti-Semitism, when even Jewish Israeli scholars have even been coming out saying that they use that as a way to deflect from their crimes. People still continue to use it. And I'm going to be straight up, because a lot of the people who hurl the words anti-Semitic are not Jewish.
Yeah, it's it's amazing. You saw that. I think we talked about that Cuomo clip where he started like calling a Jewish person an anti-Semite, and he's like, "Are you fucking with me right now? Are you serious?" And Cuomo's like, "You're a bad Jew," and he's like, "Did you just call me a bad Jew? You can't do that. That's anti-Semitism." And it's just like,
yep. It's bananas. You're not helping. You're not.
Exactly. Well, let's jump to a flotilla update, y'all.
Palestina pasti merdeka. Ikhlas munajat teruslah berdoa. Palestina pasti merdeka. Hulurkan buat segenap upaya. Moga Palestina tak lagi derita. Palestina merdeka. Palestina merdeka. Palestina merdeka. Palestina merdeka.
That, seeing this video, I was bawling. And like the fact over 50 ships, like this, whew, that is so fucking beautiful. And everyone knows what they're risking by doing that. And one of the ships was, of course, already attacked. And a beautiful man, who's, I put his video in next, is going to comment on it. He's on one of the flotillas. When he followed me on Twitter, I fangirled. Like, I don't fangirl, but I fucking fangirled. I love this man. Like, he is brilliant. He started out as someone who made satirical videos and just became this awesome humanitarian force. And he's on one of the flotillas, and there's footage of the attack from a day ago.
All right, let's check it out.
Morning from beautiful Tunis, guys. Tunisia is absolutely stunning, by the way. Absolutely beautiful city. So thank you for all your lovely messages. I have lots of messages from people concerned, because I think most of you will have seen now there was a drone attack on one of the Global Smooth Flotilla boats last night. It's the family boat. That will be the boat that will be carrying Greta Thunberg, Thiago, our spiritual leader, Yasmin, our spiritual leader. So it's a significant boat. It's one of the main boats, and it was attacked. There was a drone strike. Of course, you know, we're 2 years into the genocide now. We can't say for sure who's committing all these crimes. As you know, we have to say alleged. You know, we know who has been threatening us, you know, for the last, not just on this mission, but on previous missions. We know who has skin in this game, who would like nothing more than to derail our project to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza. But of course, we can't say for sure who it was. You can look at the images yourself there. of the drone strike. I think Tunisian authorities or somebody in the mainstream media and the Zionist media has been declaring that it's likely a fire brought about by a cigarette. I think that story is going around Western media at the moment. Who knew that cigarettes can fly through the sky and explode on boats and potentially kill people? We all knew the smoking kills, but perhaps not to this extent. You know what, though? It really makes me feel, and I'm just talking to some of the Irish delegation here, my big fear is not so much that I'll be killed on this mission, but that I'll be killed and the Israeli propaganda point or Western media will say, well, look, he was smoking a cigarette and it exploded and blew him up. And that will be the narrative, because we're living in a kind of an alternative, bizarro world where we can have irrefutable evidence in front of our eyes, as we've seen with the mass murder of Palestinians for the last 2 years. And yet, Israeli propaganda and the Western media will kind of say, well, we're not sure, there's a bit of doubt on it, so, let's just let Israel investigate itself, and I'm sure they'll say that they've done nothing untoward and we can all go on with our business. That would be my worry, that perhaps even the Irish media and the Irish government would say, well, we're not quite sure what happened to some of the Irish delegation that were killed in that flotilla. I think the big lesson is, let's not go on flotillas, and let's just continue looking the other way as Israel continues to mass murder civilians and starve the population to death. That's our big worry. But anyway, look, the attack is the attack. It's alleged for now. I'll let you make up your own mind as to whether it was a drone attack, and I'll let you make up your own mind as to who did it. I'm safe. I'm a big boats guy, as you know. I love my boat, and I do actually mean that. I love my captain. I love my crew. We have a beautiful camaraderie amongst ourselves. I didn't want to leave the boat. I was asked to do a media thing yesterday, so I went, and I was so long on land I couldn't get back to the boat, and so I ended up staying in a hotel, and then I wake up to that news this morning. And you know what I want to do now more than anything else? I'm not rattled or anything, and people I'm talking to, I'm not rattled at all by this, obviously, this strike that's meant to derail us and put us off our job. All I want to do now is to get back to my boat, and I mean that. I want to get back to the comrades who did the night watch last night. I want to get back to the sole focus of this, which is not even having a shower in a nice hotel, which was nice, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to go to Gaza. I'm here to break the siege. And by the way, this story is doing the rounds now at the moment, but let's remember again that even if there are drone strikes, and even if they cause damage on the boats, and even, God forbid, if some of us are injured, that's not the story. In fact, that's why many of us are here, because maybe it'll take white people, Westerners, to be injured, to be killed, unfortunately, before most of the Western media class will say, okay, maybe it's something that we need to worry about. No, it's okay when hundreds of thousands of brown people are being murdered. But no, a white person has been kind of scared. Let's lead with that story. We are not the story. The genocide, the man-made starvation is the story.
Wow.
I want to buy that man a pint. If I go back to Ireland, I'm going to hit his ass up and be like, mate, I'm buying you a pint in Dublin. Meet me there.
Well, when you go, let me know. I want to go too. I want to. I need to meet up with my my ancestors, because it seems like they're one of the only places on Earth that gets why colonialism is the worst thing ever.
Well,
and so
that's what I've always been saying. I've been like, Ireland has been the best out of everyone. But, it's interesting because this same gentleman did a video about a week ago that talks about, as someone in Ireland, talks about the misconceptions of how great they are when it comes to Palestine. And he talks about things that are actually going on in the government, which I don't think we really pay attention to enough, because we see the good things. Those are what we see on the videos. But there are more issues, like Claire Daly was voted out. That's fucking big. That is so fucking unacceptable.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's like a fucking warrior. And when she got voted out, that kind of really started waking me up to maybe it's not like this country where like they're 100% pro-Palestine, because they're not.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend watching his video on that.
Yeah. Well, we're come to our last little closers. I'm going to show you mine first. I had a wild little moment online the other day where I was talking to somebody who was arguing that Kamala and the Democratic Party are not corrupt. And I was like, yeah, they are. Like, literally the same people that was sitting behind Trump are all the people that were the top donors to Kamala. They're like, no, that's a lie. And I'm like, my God, it's so easy to look this up. And then I was like,
Trump
I should make a video.
donated to Kamala, for fuck's sake.
Yep. So I made a little video about it just because I want to show people just how ridiculously like obvious and easy this is. So, hey, some stupid liberal guy here. And today, guys, we're going to solve a mystery. Yes, we're solving the mystery of why the Democratic Party has the lowest polling in the history of polling in my entire adult life. Anyways, let's jump right into the mystery. Now, I'm going to have behind me a picture of a bunch of the billionaires at Trump's inauguration. And then also I'm going to have Kamala's contributions for the 2024 election up. I can't pull these down. I don't know how. I'm really bad at tech stuff, so just ignore the video behind me. But seriously, guys, what is going on with this Democratic Party? Am I right? It doesn't make any sense. It seems like everything that Trump suggests, they seem to be for it. They keep voting for his bills. They keep voting for his nominees. They keep saying out loud that Trump is an existential threat to America, to our freedoms, to our rights, to the world. And yet they just keep writing angrier and angrier letters that Trump uses as emergency toilet paper, and they won't do anything else. Anyways, folks, I don't think we're ever going to solve this crazy mystery why it seems like the Democrats have been controlled by some sort of powerful influence or resource or force. I guess we'll never know. But the mystery continues, folks. Maybe next time we'll solve it. Good luck to us. I don't know. I had to share that because I just couldn't believe how easy it was. Literally, I just went to Open Secrets. I looked at the contributor list. I looked at the picture of the billionaires. Yeah, it's like, look, they're literally the same people, you guys. Like, why do you think they
both
won't
get
stand in?
APAC? Same donors.
Exactly. It's the money.
So
it's the
someone just
corruption.
texted me that Bernard has just signed on to a bill to get rid of Hamas. Okay, because everything that's going on now, that is a priority. Absolutely. I mean, I'm so glad this legislation has been brought forth. I'm so glad he's signing it. I think that it's imperative to do it and also to focus on that. When it comes to GAZA, I mean, I think we have to focus on that, truly. Great job, Bernard.
I missed the full detail of it. So what was the thing that he signed? I didn't catch that.
It was it's legislation to essentially end Hamas.
So what do you mean by end them?
Like they're an elected entity. It would
so they can no longer be used as the scapegoat because they're no longer the controlling government, and that's always
they would no longer exist.
Okay.
Which go ahead, do that. Guess what? There's going to be other resistance fighters.
Sure. But it's funny when you said end Hamas, my brain immediately went to what Israel would say. And I'm like, do you mean like Israel end Hamas? Or so I was trying to like catch what you meant. I'm like, what do you mean by end? Okay. We got one last little chuckle for you guys here. And this is my jam of the end of the summer.
We'll close out with that, but who's our person? Who's letting us off the cliff? I'm picking that cop who that badass was like, asking like, how does it feel to be around 1,000 terrorists? And he's like, have a good day. I'm picking him.
That was one of the funniest things I've seen, to be like, are you terrified right now being surrounded by 1,000 dangerous terrorists?
Brilliant. He's the hero. The cop is the done.
You know what? I'm in 100% lockstep with you today. That cop earned it, and that dude earned his spot as our freedom fighter champ. So I stand that man. Stand that man, boo, stand that man. All right, we have a treat closing out.
I invite you all to dance with us. Don't
Yes,
worry,
dance
it's
party.
not me singing again. Just it's not me. Don't worry about it. Before we go, buy my book, please, 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 please. BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com. Our friend Temujin. Support independent writers, especially ones who are blind, who it's really difficult to write, you know. So, but this story is so important. So please buy my book. So yes, we are good to go. Let's play this fucker out. Much love, everyone.
party!
Smash like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. And now, a dance party.
Ice, we ain't gonna play it nice. Oh, you wanna fight? Keep sucking daddy's dick on the far right. Buck ice, we ain't gonna play it nice. Oh, you wanna fight? Keep sucking daddy's dick on the far right. Buck ice, 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 ice. Ice, 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 ice. Ice, 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 ice. Ice, ice, ice. Buck ice, we ain't gonna play it nice. Oh, you wanna fight? Keep sucking daddy's dick on the far right. Buck ice, we ain't gonna play it nice. Oh, you wanna fight? Keep sucking daddy's dick on the far right. Buck ice, 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 ice.
All right.
Ice, 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 ice.
Thanks for watching, guys. Much love.
It's been a wonderful week, and we love you guys. Please be safe out there, and remember to love one another. God damn it. We'll see you guys. And next week on the Capitalist Death Parade.
Ice, ice, ice.